Alright, so after we're done with our user pages and everything, it's time to make our client page. So first what we're gonna do is we're gonna of course create a database for it. And this time I have made some tables. And the first table that I made is a table client. So I'm just gonna show you all the fields. I have a client ID, I have a client user ID, and we have a client type, which just means like customer, if it's a supplier or any type of. And I have a client business ID, which is going to be some client business. For example, if it's a wholesaler, manufacturer, authorized dealer, and then a date. This client since when he joined our company, and a contact name. Well, what I'll do is instead of contact name is I'm gonna put oh sorry, it's a company name. All right, and there's another thing what I'm gonna add over here, which is going to be a client contact ID, which is going to be a number. All right, so after you make this client table, uh, then the second table that I made, the second table that we required is a user ID. So we already have a table user. So when we gonna make a customer or supplier user, so we can link their account. So we'll do this in future, anyways. Then we have a client type ID, and I just made another table which is called table client type, and I just put simply over here as a client type ID and a client type name. Again, like we're gonna insert like what type of client is this. So I'm just gonna put a couple of them right now. So for example, the first one I need a supplier. The second one I need a customer, and can put like spare parts, and can put like if you want to make your own account, so you can just put like owner, partner, or agent, or the clearing agent. Maybe we need for a GST freight forwarder or shipper, trucker. So I mean, whatever is your own requirement, you can just like put whatever the requirement. I want dismantler. If my spellings are not right, so like you can just put your own. Then I have assembling point or assembler, assembler, whatever. Like again, I don't worry about the spellings. We can change it later on. But this is just to show you like what types we do need when we create a client type. Some people they make another table, like for example they make a different table for supplier, customer, spare parts. Again, like it's your own personal preferences. This is how I like, and this is what I'm gonna make. All right, so this is a client type. Then I made another table which is a client contact. Over here we're gonna whatever the client we make, we're just gonna put as contact, like his contact name, address, PO box, city, whatever is your personal preferences like. So we're gonna attach this with the client table. All right, and this there's another one which is a client business. So we can just put over here what type of business you do. Again, like what I mean, a client type business means, for example, He's a retailer. He's a wholesaler. He's a manufacturer. Manufacturer. Or, I mean, again, whatever the type you want, you can add it. I'm just gonna save this too, and I'm gonna put on the view side. Alright, then I made a fifth table, which is a client bank. We're gonna put over here his bank details, like what type of bank he carry, his address, city, zip code, state, country, his bank account number, SWIFT code, routing, ABN number. In Dubai we required ABN number, and if you have any notes, so you can just put the note over here. So again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 tables. So after you make those all tables, you can pause the video, or I think it's better to just see what I am doing right now, then you can make it later on. Alright, so after you make all those tables, I'm just gonna close this all. Yes, I wanna save it. I'm just gonna go to database tool and go to relations. Right now I have only 2 relation and 2 tables, so I'm just gonna show table, and I'm gonna open like one by one. So I'm just gonna put client table, and I do have close. I do have a user already, so I'm just gonna make a user ID, create. Then another table, I need a client type, so I'm just gonna show table. I'm gonna go to client type, and I'm gonna get the information from client type to client type, and I'm just gonna make another relation. And then I need a business type, so I'm just gonna show all, and I want this business, and I'm just gonna go ahead and choose business type, enforcement, cascade, deleted record. Okay, and then we already have okay, the fifth one we need is a contact. Close, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna put contact ID to contact, enforcement, cascade, delete record. Alright, so I think we have pretty much done use our all the tables. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, and what we're missing, let's see. Alright, so what we're missing over here is our client bank. Alright, so this time, and over here, if you see, I forget to put client ID, so we're gonna just save this, close the relationship, come to client bank, and of course we need one insert. We need a client ID, which is going to be a number. I'm gonna save it, close this, and we're gonna go to database tool again, go to relationship, and client ID to client ID, enforcement. Okay, and the contact ID. First of all, what I did, another mistake, is I put the client contact ID. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna remove this, and I'm just gonna click client ID to client ID. Alright, yes. Relationship must be the same name of the field of the client ID. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is, first of all, I'm just gonna save it, close this, come to my client page. I'm just gonna remove this. Yes, I wanna remove it, wanna save this. Alright, relation tools, relations, and client's ID to client's ID, and I will just make a relation from a table contact. Alright, I don't know why it's making nice trouble. I'm just gonna my table again, which is client contact. ID. Alright, so what I'll do is I will just save this, close, and I will open this client contact. And if you see over here, it's a client ID selected as a text, so I'm just going to choose as a number, so that's why it was not showing. Go to relations, client ID to client ID, and this time it shouldn't have any problem. Alright, so once your relationship is done with everything, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and make our page, or let's see, before, if we need a query, so we're gonna make a query first. Alright, so after we're done with our relations, just come to create and go to query design. I'm gonna select my table client, user, and client type, client business type. Okay, I'm just gonna close. Let me see if I need anything else. Nothing else. So let me do just this way. Okay, so from here what I'll need is a client ID, and I need a user ID, and I need maybe a username or a company name. I will say a company name will be better, and client type ID and the client type name. Then I need a business ID and business type. Need a date and company name. Alright, so on the user table, again, like, it's up to you. You can just choose a username instead of a company name, or whatever the name you want, you can just go ahead and choose it. Okay, and after this I'm just gonna run, but it will show me nothing because there's no data over here, and I'm just gonna save it by query clients. Just gonna save, close this. I'm gonna minimize my database. Alright, so over here again we're gonna start with the same thing. I'm gonna make one folder which is going to be our clients folder. Alright, same thing we're gonna do. We're gonna right click on the default page, and I will duplicate it, and I will choose this as a new client. Yes, update. I'm just gonna click on my client. Yes. Alright, so once it's in the client folder, just go ahead and open this, and of course change the title to new client. Remove this and put new, delete client, new. Alright, and we're gonna save this, and I'm gonna open my default page. Gonna go to client, new, and I'm gonna assign my page accounts client to new client. Just gonna save all, and I'm gonna upload this and upload my client folder. And just to let you know, on the default page we link to the new client. You have to go through your company pages and the user pages, and you have to assign a link to new client. I know it's a little bit work to do, but anyways, no problem. So let's close this and open my control panel. Admin, yes. So client new. So now we're on a new client page. Alright, So on the binding panels, if you see, it's showing me two records over here, which is one for the company and one for the user. So we need a little bit more record set before we add a new form. I'm gonna go to RS client type, choose connection, and I'm gonna choose client type. I'm just gonna select. If you wanna sort it by client type name ascending, so you can also do this like whatever, like your requirement. It's okay. I'm just gonna refresh this one time. Okay. So after we need a client type, we're gonna need RS client business type, and this time we're gonna choose client business type. Alright. Retailer, wholesaler, manufacturer, whatever. It's okay. So now we have we already have users, so we have a client type and client business type. So if you check our client table over here, we are required user ID, client type ID, and business type. Alright. So once you have all those three records set, and now it's time to make our first client page, actually a form. So just come to data and click on insert record. We're gonna choose our connection, and this time we're gonna choose our client table. After insert, we'll wanna come back to our new client page, and over here we don't need client's ID because again it's auto generated. Just gonna click okay, and the first I want a user ID. I need a client type ID, and then I need business ID, company name, and date. So first of all, before everything, I need date. So date over here that I told you earlier, submitted as text. User ID, I'm gonna click it on menu. I'm gonna get from my database that we already has a record set user, and I get label from company name, and get the value as user ID. I'm gonna click OK, and again we're gonna do the same thing with the client type. This time we're gonna select menu property from database. Gonna say client type, get the label as a type name, and value as a client type ID. And business type, we're gonna do the same thing. Menu, new property from database, gonna business type, label, business ID, and click OK, and click OK. Alright, again let's just put backspace here, and select this. Again we're gonna align this as default, and I want this time is 500 pixel. This width I need at least 150. Alright. So once we're done, I'm just gonna click on this is going to be our, again this is search bar. We're gonna 30, and here what we're gonna get our the query, that the client query that we made. Query client, query clients, and I want to set it by date ascending, and click OK. So once we're done, I'm just gonna save all, and over here I'm just gonna click on this row, and I'm going to data, and we're gonna do the dynamic table. Start again at 110 at a time, and sorry, actually I chose the wrong repeat region. I'm just gonna Control Z. I'm just gonna undo this, and I'm just gonna do that again. And I want this query client, and press OK while executing. Error. I'm just gonna cancel this, and just gonna close new page again. Alright, I'm just gonna click here, and this time query client, and press OK. Alright, so it's actually showing me two of them. So when I'm just gonna remove it, let's see which one it did remove. This one, I'm just gonna choose the whole table and close. Alright, I don't need to show the client ID, user ID, and client type. I'll remove all the IDs that you have. Alright, so let me just manage this the way I want, and I'll get back to you. Alright, so after I done over here, I just upload this page. Yes, save everything, and I also put show if like if it's empty, so it will not show anything unless we put our client over here. Alright, so I just change these to user ID, or I'm just gonna save this and upload. I'm just gonna come to my web page. So I guess let's add one client. Okay, and again it will show the admin here first because we don't have any other user. So if you want, you can just go ahead and make one user first and then do this, but by default we're gonna just leave it as a admin. Alright, so he's our supplier, and of course he's wholesaler, and his name is Dada Auto Dealer, and we're just gonna test and add client. So here we go, we have one supplier who's a wholesaler, his name is dealer, and I'm gonna add one customer over here. He's a retailer, and his name is Baba Garcel. Okay, just gonna add client. Alright, if you're worrying about these colors and everything, please go ahead and watch my user video that I already explained everything. So I'm just gonna make the search and everything, and I'll get back to you. And again, if you want to see how I'm getting the search and everything, the search engine, you can go ahead and see my user video, which is 5 of 10. Alright, so over here I just let you know, I just click here on this table raw, and I went to the form and just click on the form, so it just give me a one form, and over here I put its name FRMSERCH search client. Alright, and action when after searching it come to our new client page, and method instead of post I put it on get. Alright, and over here I just simply choose one list menu, and I named it txt client type. I'm just gonna choose the value from client type, value will be client ID, and label client name. Just gonna click OK, and over here we'll do the same thing, go to a dynamic, we're gonna go to client business type, value will remain a business ID and business type name. Okay, and I'm just gonna save all and upload to just see how it look like. Alright, so you can choose for searching like whatever you want, if a customer or anything, but right now it will not give you any value or anything. It's just for a testing purpose. And again, it's the same thing over here. It's a wholesaler, reseller, whatever you want to choose. Alright, and show all again that I link to this page, the same page. Alright, okay, so first what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna go to dynamic link, and I'm just gonna add one value. Value will remain null, and I'm just gonna put show all, and I will do the same thing over here. And I'm just gonna put value, the value will be null, and I'm gonna put show all. Alright, I'm gonna save this, and now it's time to add the search engine value. Alright, so this time we're gonna come to our query client. Just gonna double click and open this. Alright, so in this query client, what I'm gonna do is on the advanced mode. So this time we're gonna make 3 parameters, one for the client type and the business type, and the third the text box. But please make sure you type the correct spelling of these list menus and the text boxes. Alright, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just first I'm just gonna cancel this, and I'm gonna just write down these 3 values, so in order to not make any mistake. Alright, so after I checked all my fields and everything, so over here I'm just gonna remove this. Okay, so this is a query that I made. Just select from our query clients where client type ID like parameter 1, and client business ID like parameter 2, and client company name and client type name and business type name like parameter 3, order by ascending date. Alright, so this is a parameter 1, and this is going to be parameter 2 and parameter 3. So I'm just gonna show you what I did. I opened my client query page over here, and if you see over here on the parameter 1 added, it's a parameter 1 text, and this is a query, the first one. Okay, and this is the list menu, the client type, and this is a parameter 2. This is a parameter 2. This is a business type, list menu. Alright, and this is a parameter 3, which is our text box. Alright, so after you make this, and this is our query, select from a query table, design, everything is over here. If you want to pause the video, and if you want to write it down, you can write it down. Okay, so after you're done, I'm just gonna minimize this. In my case, I'm going to be cancel this because I already saved it. In your case, just press OK. Alright, and I'm going to upload this to my testing server, and I will refresh. So if you see over here, client type, if I choose partner, what I don't have, so it will show me nothing. And if I'll choose a supplier, so it will show me all the suppliers, but in this case I have only one. And how about if we have one customer? So I'm just gonna select, it shows me a customer, show all, I'm just gonna will show all. Same thing over here, we don't have a manufacturer, so I'm just for testing purpose, checks me nothing. Retailer, we have one. Wholesaler, we have one. And show all. And if you want to just search simply a company name or business type or even a customer type, just search, it will search for you. Alright, so we're done with our client page, and rest of the thing, edit and delete. You know, if you're following my videos on a 5 of 10, you will see how can you add this for make an edit page and delete the client. So there are a few works that I have to do. I have to put the page navigator and showing records of total. So I'll do this and I'll come back to you. The record set over here, just click over here, put the height of 30 and data, and there's a page navigation, and this time I'm gonna choose the query client text. Okay, I'm gonna just put it over here, just right click on this row. I'm gonna split this into 2 columns, and over here I'm gonna put the same thing, showing records of total, this. And over here again I'm just gonna open my client query. I'm just gonna put showing us record of total record, and this again is going to be a right hand side, and fonts I want 12 again. Alright, so this is how you put your record setting and everything. Okay, so I'll see you probably in an inventory page. Okay, so after we done this, what we can do over here is we can make one client list page too. So I'm just gonna close this, and I'm gonna right click and duplicate, and I'm gonna change this to client list. Update. I'm just gonna double click open. In this one I'm gonna select the form, go to server behavior, and I'm just gonna simply minus this because I don't need any insert form or anything. I'm just gonna select it, press delete and delete. Alright, so and in search, what I will do is, remember that we have an action, go to new client. Now we're gonna go to our client list. Alright, so I'm just gonna save all, and in this menu I'm gonna choose this to client list and new to client, new client, and I think these are already updated. Log out, control panel, yes, everything is fine. And in the new client too, I'm just gonna update this menu, and client, new client, just going to be a same page, client list to be a client list, my company, new user, everything is okay to go. Just gonna save all, gonna say upload my client folder and a default folder, and I'll just go back to control panel, refresh, and I will click on the client list. Actually I didn't put the list over here, client list, new client. Okay, everything is done. Save all, upload your default page or the control panel page. Okay, so let's see, a new client is working, and here's the client list. So it will show you all the clients you have, and if you want to add new client, just go to new. Okay, so I think it's really simple, nothing much to worry about. And I'll see if go to client list, there's a 2 rows, so we'll just delete 1 row, 1 is enough. Just gonna upload, there you go. So this is good, and this one will go ahead and change something. Put on the client list, client list, save all. Alright, just upload this, and if you refresh it will say client list here. Okay, so after we are done with our client page, actually add new client on the client list. Well, it's not going to client list. Alright, new client. I think I already added the client list. So why it is not going in the client list? Anyway, probably we are at the client list page. Refresh. Oh, we're at the new user page. So because we didn't update this, so that's why. Anyways, client list, new client list, new user. It's all working. Okay, so this time what we're gonna do, we're gonna make one client detail page where it will show us all the detail about this client, and we're gonna add a new address and bank information and contact information and everything. So I'm just gonna minimize this, and I'm just gonna close this, and what I will do is I'm just gonna actually one more thing. I don't want this, never underline, apply. Okay, close. Yes, I need save, of course. Right click, just gonna make duplicate this page, and I'm gonna drag this to my client folder, and here I'm gonna make client details page. Yes, update. Now open this. Alright, so let's see how we want all our client information and client page over here. And in order to do this, I need first my client query, which has query client. I'm just gonna go to simple query client, and I want this to be by client ID, URL ID. Just gonna click OK, and over here let me just see how I can make. So what I'm gonna do is just click on this table or row. I'm just gonna choose this color, and in this I come to a layout. One be around maybe 900 pixel. I need 4 columns, 8 rows and 4 columns for now. We'll see. Alright, and I will align this to center. The first top, I want it to be height 25, and the first row I'm going to merge this, and from my binding panels I'm just gonna refresh this. From my binding panels we have a query client, and if you see over here you have a client company name. So I'm just gonna put over here, it's a company name, and I will select this as white, bold. Alright, I'm just gonna save this, and I will go to client list, and over here I will put the details. Okay, I'm just gonna select this, come to the server behavior, just gonna apply a go to detail page, gonna browse for client details, and see over here is a query client, so we're gonna choose the query client, and this time we're going by client ID, and yes. Okay, and we will do the same thing in a new client too. So after we add, if you just want to go to our client detail, so I'm just gonna put over here details, just select this, the binding panel, refresh, and come over here, go to detail page, client detail, and again we're using a query client over here, and the client ID and ID. Alright, just gonna save it, and I'm just gonna upload all the pages, and over here I'm just gonna refresh it. So if you see it's giving me option edit or detail, so I'm just gonna press detail, and it's showing me Zishan Rizvi. Why is showing me Zishan Rizvi? Because we do have okay, let me see, I'm gonna go to my client page and binding panels, refresh. It's showing the admin name actually. So what I want is I want a client company name there. Alright, I'm gonna save and save my client detail page. I'm just gonna refresh it. Alright, Papa Car Sailor, that's good. Go list, and I'm gonna put deal. Alright, data car dealer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fill out all the information, the required information, then we'll give it the link. Then over here when we make a inventory page, so whatever we purchase or we sell to this client, it will show our inventory over here. Okay. Alright, so after we've done this, I want over here all the contact supply my client contact detail. So in order to do this, I have to make a contact page. So what I'll do is I'm just gonna right click here, and again I'm just gonna duplicate this, and I'm gonna go to my client page. Okay, and this time I'm just gonna close all these tabs, and this one I'm just gonna select this and put client contact, yes, update. Alright, so I'm gonna come over here, and again I'm just gonna put client contact. Alright, client contact new. Okay, so over here, let me just save this and refresh this, and of course I need the record set query. Actually first I need one client connection, and actually what I'll do is I'll just choose, just put query client. Right now maybe I don't need any query, but let's see. Alright, I'm just gonna go to data, and I'm just gonna go to insert, just a connection. This time I'm going to be on my client contact list. Yeah, see, I need one client query table, so I'm just gonna go ahead and make rs query client. You can also copy and paste the record set from other pages too. So anyways, I'm just gonna choose query client, and this time I need this query to become by client ID, URL parameter, and ID. Alright, I'm just gonna click OK. And now we're ready to insert. So insert record. I need to go to my client contact. After it finish, come to the client contact page. I don't need client contact ID. Just gonna remove this, but I will need a client ID. And for this, we made our query. So I'm gonna go to select and came from a database. I need the client query client, get the label. This time you can choose a client company name and client ID. Okay, yes, select OK, and I'm gonna see if there's anything that I need to change or anything. No, nothing much. So I'm just gonna press OK. Alright, where did it go? I don't know. Anyways, I clicked it over here. So let me see, did it put any insert record? Yes, it did. Okay, so I'm just gonna Control Z. I'm just gonna Control Z. Control Z. I'm just gonna actually save now. Open the client contact again and just check my query company record set. Query client and this time by filter by client ID. Alright, so I'm just gonna refresh server behaviors. Alright, so I'm just gonna click over here in this row. I'm gonna insert table to client contact and to client contact. I need client ID and this one. I'm gonna choose as a menu, or if you don't want to show this to the menu, you can also put on a hidden field, but this is a better way to show the client on the menu, because you know, okay, you're adding information for this particular client. Alright, and get the label from company name and get the value from client ID. Okay, just gonna press OK, and hopefully, yes, this time I got the table. Alright, just gonna, so again, when you have a table, just go to default. Again, let me just set it up and come back to you. Alright, so this is how I wanna set it up, and I'm just gonna remove this, and I will save all, and I will upload everything. Alright, so let's go into my client use. Client list, and again over here. So anyways, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put over here a link that what we need to add a new client detail, okay, or a new client contact. So I'll come to my client detail page. Over here, this time I need this to be at least 30, and I'm gonna put over here new contact. Alright, so I'm just gonna select this, and before actually I do this, I wanna check one more thing. I'm gonna copy this. detail. Paste this. And just gonna select this and come to my server behavior. Plus go to a detail page, which is going to be a client contact, and I'm just gonna use the query client ID. It's ID. I'm gonna press OK, and I will save all, and I will upload my client detail page. We'll refresh, and I'll see here. Alright, so now we're at the client page, so I'm just gonna contact Mr. Babaji, and his address is 123 Golden Golden Street. PO box, you don't have it, or let me just put 1200 whatever. City, Stammer, but he's my supplier or he's a customer. Okay, I think he's a supplier. So he's in Houston. Zip code 77099, and state as Texas, country USA. Okay, if you want to put note, you can add note if you want. He is our good supplier. Alright, and in line 1 we'll put 281 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and 2832 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Fax number is also 713 123 4 5 6 7. Mobile number is also 281 2 4 5 6 7 1 2 7. Email address is papa.com. Paste www.papa.com. Alright, so I'm just gonna add this, but I don't have any query made for this. So all I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna add this. So when that is edit done, just go to my database, click, and I'm gonna build one query design. And this time I need a table client and a table client contact, and I need a client contact ID, I need a company name, and contact name, number, PO box, city, zip code, state, country, and pretty much everything. So once you select everything, I'm just gonna save this. Query client contact. Alright, I'm just gonna save. And we'll come to contact client over here. I'm just gonna need a little bit more space. Alright, so what I will do is over here I will background this 30, 38i. Gonna put contact details. Alright. Alright, so let me just manage this and I'll come back to you. So in order to show everything over here, I'm gonna make one query, record set query, which is client contact connection query client contact, and this one I will filter it by contact ID. Not really, sorry, contact ID. It should be from client ID, and I don't know why I am not looking at the client ID here. So probably I didn't choose it. I'm just gonna go back to my query contact, and yes, I don't have a client ID over here, so I'm just gonna double click on client ID, and I will just double check that I have a client ID here. Okay, save it, close. Okay, I'm just gonna come to my binding panel just to make sure. Save all. Just gonna close this, open my contact page again, and refresh this. Alright, and now I will make the query. Record set query, my client contact, choose my connection, query client contact, and this one I need from a filter client ID, and or maybe you can sort. I don't think so I need any sortation on this. I'm just gonna test. Well, test. I'm just gonna press OK. Alright, so once you're done, just click on this row and come to a dynamic table. This time I'm gonna show all for client contact, because you're not gonna have like more than 2, probably 3, you know. And alright, so once we have this, I'm just gonna manage this and come back to you. Alright, so after we done over here, this is the settings that I want, and upload this, refresh. So this is how the address look like. Anyway, so if you want to add more, you can add more, and if you have like more than one address, so you can go ahead and do it. Anyways, in our case, I just need only one address, and the reason why I want this address to be here, because I want to show this to my client detail page over here. So this is again is very easy that how you can do it. And before I go there, what I will do is I will just go and the height of 30, and I will go to client details. Anyways, and let me just add some space over here. Just gonna click copy, and just gonna put here, paste. It's gonna design. I'm gonna choose this. You can also have like a buttons also, but anyways, so go to detail page, which is going to be our client detail page, and we're gonna use a query client ID, Not really like query client. What I wanna select this query client contact. Actually, query client, and this time going to be a client ID and ID. Okay, I'm just gonna save all. Upload this. So if you want to add a new contact, so there's a contact. If you want to go back to the client page again, so we come over here. So let me just add few more information to my client page. I will open my client page. Sorry, client detail page. And over here, I'm just gonna put like before but I will have to create a RS or query client detail, not really detail, client contact, and I'm just gonna choose query client contact, and this is also coming from client ID. Okay, and I'm just gonna press OK. I'm gonna go to my bindings, client contacts. Just gonna close this tag. So all I will do is I'm just gonna come here and just put down, like, for example, I need there's a client contact name, and I need the address and the contact number, whatever I mean, so I'm just gonna populate all, and I'll come back to you. Alright, so after I manage how do I want to show this page and everything, so I already saved it and upload to our server behavior, and this is how it's gonna look like. Alright, so just wanna test one more thing. We have a detail for this one, but we don't have a details for this. So over here it will show the error, and again we can handle this error, and we have handled this error before also. I'm just gonna select the whole table, and we'll go to a server behavior, and we'll show region when it's not empty, which is going to be our query client, query contact client, and I'm gonna say OK. Or actually I can do one more thing. Instead of doing this, I made two tables. The first table, which is showing a query client, and this is a query contact one. I'm just gonna hold this table, and this time I'm gonna just do show when it's not empty, query client contact. Alright, just gonna save all and upload my page and refresh. So here you go. So if I'll go to list and come over here, it shows me everything, and the client who doesn't have any contact detail, it will not show anything over here. Alright, so after you've done this, we'll go similar like new contact, will go with the new bank account details, and so you can go ahead and make those pages. You know how we already made this new contact, so you can do the same thing with the new bank detail page. Alright, so I think after we're done, we'll go ahead and make our inventory.